What if you learned the chronicle of the Alamo, that fabled conflict engraved upon the soul of Texas, conceals truths almost entirely unknown? Truths unveiled from the perspective of one who endured it, Joe Travis, the enslaved man of Colonel William Barrett Travis. His testimony draws aside the veil on the unremitting fatigue, the frantic bravery, and the raw brutality that characterized those last moments. You will learn how the Garrison, utterly spent, confronted a foe that attacked without warning or mercy, how Colonel Travis battled with ferocious resolve until his final moment, entangled in a fatal struggle with a Mexican officer. You will see the vicious close-quarters fighting, the demise of legends such as Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, and the grim commands from Santa Anna that decided the destiny of those captured. Yet this transcends a mere combat narrative. It is an unvarnished view into war's human toll, the women and enslaved individuals trapped within the storm, the callous harshness of the killings, and the eerie aftermath where the dead were consumed by fire and history was nearly lost. Joe Travis's account endured the carnage and the flames, providing a scarce and startling viewpoint on the Alamo frequently absent from historical texts. From the cacophony of combat to the bleak quiet that ensued, from the incendiary rhetoric of Santa Anna to the spectral image of the fallen heaped together, this is a tale of rebellion, anguish, and the relentless drive to endure. Remain with me as we explore this indelible testimony, for the narrative you will encounter will transform your entire perception of the Alamo. Yet before we start, please like and subscribe to our channel to help our community grow. We, the defenders, were completely depleted following countless days of ceaseless vigilance and arduous toil. On the eve of that tragic Sunday, all of us labored far into the night, our weary frames finding respite merely hours before the assault, all but the commander, whose alert shout broke the stillness. 3 lookouts posted outside the fortress walls must have succumbed to this same fatal exhaustion, for they gave no warning. The invaders' assault was quiet, rapid, and utterly ruthless. I was resting in my master's quarters when the commotion erupted. Colonel Travis leapt to his feet, his rifle ready and his saber gleaming on his hip, then ordered me to accompany him. I obeyed, seized my own arm, and followed his urgent charge. Travis clambered up onto the ramparts, his throat raw as he shouted to his soldiers, "Rally to me, men! The devils are upon us! We will meet them with shot and steel." A burst of fire came from his weapon. My own discharge followed suit, yet scarcely had the haze thinned when Travis staggered, mortally hit. He collapsed against the parapet, striving to stand, his lifeblood soaking the earth. Twice they raised their scaling ladders, twice repelled by determined defenders, though I saw little of the fray. My master was down, and I retreated into a supply room, discharging round after round through its slim aperture, even as the foe finally breached our defenses. On their third attempt, the assailants scaled without resistance, pouring into the compound like a relentless flood. From my place of concealment, I heard the fatal shots. Concerning Jim Bowie, the reports state he discharged his pistol from the doorway of his infirmary until his final gasp. When his adversaries discovered him, his remains were slashed to pieces, nearly impossible to identify. Davy Crockett and a handful of his men were discovered fallen together, surrounded by a score of slain Mexican soldiers, a somber testament to their resolute last stand. The women and African Americans within the compound, myself among them, were largely shown clemency. A single woman perished, hit by an errant shot as she darted between the artillery pieces. When the massacre concluded, Mexican commanders walked through the carnage demanding any Negroes present themselves. Shaking, I emerged and announced, "I am here." 2 troops rushed at me. One discharged his weapon, the ball piercing my side, the other lunged with his bayonet, its point grazing along my bones. I thought my end had come until Captain Baramendi intervened, yelling for them to stop. In the aftermath, the Mexicans preserved the lives of most of us black captives, as well as a small number of their own countrywomen, among them a surgeon's spouse and her sibling, Señorita Navarro. Both were returned under escort to their father, Don Angel Navarro, in Berkshire. Mrs. Dickinson, the lieutenant's widow, and her small child were also spared, though I subsequently learned they were conducted through the lines into Texas under a ragged white flag. After the bloodshed, Santa Anna ordered his troops into a hollow formation. He marched to its middle and harangued them with vigorous motions, his tone cutting like a blade. The men broke into such thunderous acclamation it seemed to stifle the dawn. The general appeared to me a gaunt, lengthy individual with extended arms and legs, attired more plainly than any officer I had observed, in a simple woolen overcoat devoid of decorations or insignia. Like one of those Methodist preachers, I informed the Mexicans when they demanded my impression. They subsequently removed me to Berkshire and detained me there for a number of days. Eventually, they paraded me out to observe their army's grand display, row upon row of foot soldiers and horsemen arrayed across the prairie, their flags shaking like carrion birds' wings. A jeering captain bragged their force was 8,000 strong, but anyone who had surveyed that terrain knew the truth. The land was broken by ravines and thickets, scarcely capable of containing half that number. Santa Anna personally interrogated me within a shadowy chamber that reeked of spent powder. His gaze fixed on me as he pressed for information regarding Texas. How many troops we had assembled, and if additional American regulars were en route to reinforce the struggle. "Will more be dispatched?" he demanded sharply, moving like a trapped animal. When I faltered, insisting I knew nothing, he gave a thin smile and stood tall. "It is of no consequence," he declared. "I possess sufficient forces to raise my banner over your capital of Washington." His voice grew icy, as if the notion provided him a private amusement. Afterwards I observed through a crack in the wall as enemy soldiers stacked our deceased, Travis, Crockett, and all the rest, into a macabre pyramid. They soaked the corpses in fuel and ignited them. The dense, dark plumes spiraled into the heavens, leaving a putrid odor that lingered on my garments for days. Some of the troops chuckled as they tossed shattered wood onto the blazing fire. Others made the sign of the cross and turned from the sight in quiet solemnity. Joe Travis's narrative persisted through everything. As the smoke dissipated and the fire devoured the slain, one reality emerged with stark clarity. The tale of the Alamo is infinitely more intricate and unsettling than the myths we have inherited. Joe Travis's first-hand report compels us to face the brutal, unembellished reality that underlies the valor and the atrocity. Yet what truly occurred in those last minutes? In what manner did the bravery of a handful forge the fate of a country? And what truths remain interred within the cinders, still awaiting discovery? Now, I am interested in your perspective. Which element of Joe Travis's account astonished you the most? Do you feel the authentic history of the Alamo has been concealed for generations? Might additional testimonies from those present be lost to time? Share your opinions and conjectures in the comments section below. Let us decipher this enigma collectively. Remember to like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell to ensure you catch our next exploration into the hidden narratives that forged our reality. History is never entirely past. It simply awaits those with the courage to hear its whispers. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to help support our community.